What's going on, guys? You know what it is, you know who it is. Nick Fury back with another video, and if you haven't heard the news already, EA has shut down Visceral Studios. They made Dead Space, this Dead Space trilogy, and they were also working on a new Star Wars game for EA. What does this mean for EA and this game? Let's get into it. Let me start by reading the quote on the blog about this decision from EA to shut down the studio. Our Visceral Studio has been developing an action-adventure title set in the Star Wars universe. In its current form, it was shaping up to be a story-based, linear adventure game. Throughout the development process, we have been testing the game concept with players, listening to the feedback about what and how they want to play, and closely tracking fundamental shifts in the marketplace. That line could be key here. Continuing, it has become clear that to deliver an experience that players will want to come back to and enjoy for a long time to come, we needed to pivot the design. We will maintain the stunning visuals, authenticity in the Star Wars universe, and focus on bringing a Star Wars story to life. Importantly, we are shifting the game to be a broader experience that allows players for more variety and player agency, leaning into the capabilities of our Frostbite engine. That's another key, Frostbite, and reimagining central elements of the game to give players a Star Wars adventure of greater depth and breadth to explore. So, two lines that really stick out to me. This whole closely tracking fundamental shifts in the marketplace. What does that mean? Well, I mean, we've seen the trend in gaming right now. Games aren't really using much of a linear design. They're using more of an open world RPG aspects. Run around, do this and that. So it's not very linear. So I could see why they were kind of upset that a linear game existed. The marketplace is shifting to more open world, more looter shooters, i.e. Destiny, Borderlands, Anthem's coming out. EA's putting that game out next year. So the market's kind of shifted that way. So I can see what they say there, and that's key. They maybe wanted a broader game, a broader experience for players, and players probably told them, hey, we don't really like this design. And Visceral, the last big game they really did was the Dead Space trilogy. There you go. So I could see EA just looking at this and saying, this is not going to work. We need something different. I could see Visceral saying, well, this is what we're working on. This is what we're doing. And so I bet you there was kind of a disagreement there as of the direction of the game. So in order to get what they want, what do? Shut Visceral down. They move the game to a different studio. They haven't said what studio it is. All they said is it's from a worldwide of studios that they used before. So I mean, it could be BioWare, it could be DICE, it could be anything. So we just have to wait and see what they're going to do with this game. EA is not going to put money into something they don't want. They're also not going to put money into something that they think is not going to get them more money, as we know. No, they are ruthless when it comes to money. They will cut a studio off in the middle if they don't think it's going to work out. They will end a game 6 months into it being out if it doesn't have, and not give it support if it doesn't, give them the numbers they want, i.e. Mass Effect Andromeda. So we've seen it. EA is ruthless when it comes to making money. It's all about money for them. Loot boxes in Battlefront 2, all of that. We already know what it is with EA. But this other line that I really want to get in depth to is this right here. Importantly, we are shifting the game to be a broader experience that allows for more variety and player agency, leaning into the capabilities of our Frostbite engine. Frostbite. I do not know what EA's obsession is with the Frostbite engine. We know it works for shooters. We know it works for Battlefield. We know it works for Star Wars Battlefront. Heck, we even know it works for the sports franchises. Madden's using it, NBA Live's using it, and FIFA's using it. So we all know that it works here. But we've seen the examples of RPG games that it hasn't worked very well in. Mass Effect Andromeda was a disaster. The developers even said so. The engine couldn't do the basic things they wanted it to do. They really had to start from scratch with the Frostbite engine. Dragon Age Inquisition, on the other hand, did have some success, and it was a very good game, but players kind of also did complain about it a little bit, saying it was a little too different. But all in all, it was a great game. So this is my deal. If EA has developers who come out and say, hey, Frostbite isn't going to work for the kind of game that we want to do. If you want an open world RPG, it's not going to work very well. Why does EA keep forcing them to use it? EA just loves this engine and refuses to let any developer use any other engine but their beloved Frostbite engine. That could become an issue here if they really want to if they really want to dig into this market that they're talking about, they may have to let that go. Now, on the flip side, we know that Anthem's coming out later in 2018. That is using Frostbite. So if Anthem works out well, then we will see the capabilities of Frostbite in a game like this. So I guess we're just gonna have to wait for Anthem to come out and see what happens. But it just seems like EA wants to force Frostbite down every developer's engine and not let them use whatever they want. And that seems kind of out of touch to me. These developers are making you games. They're making you good games, and you're forcing them to do stuff they don't want to do. What's the big deal if a developer says, hey, we don't want to use this engine, we don't think it's going to work out very well, we're telling you it's not going to work out for this game, but they still force them to do it? Like, I don't get it. If you want a good game, let the developer develop a good game. But instead, they push timelines, impossible timelines, and then they go ahead and just pull the plug on the studios, leaving people without jobs. That's just great business, EA. Great. The evil empire strikes back. So here's my thing, man. Here's my question. Do you think that this is a big deal that EA is forcing Frostbite onto these developing companies? Do you think it's a big deal? Do you think it's a better business decision for them? Do you think it's going to hurt them in the long run? Do you think it's going to work out in the long run? We've seen examples of it working. We've seen examples of it not working. So that's just my question. I have high hopes for Anthem in 2018, but it's 2017, and that game's not coming out for a whole nother year. So we're not gonna know. We're not gonna see. We have no other examples of the Frostbite engine working in an RPG game. The last one we got, Mass Effect Andromeda, terrible, epic fail, and it hurts me to say that because that was my favorite franchise ever, Mass Effect, and now gone. So if you like what you heard, you know what I'm gonna say: like, comment, subscribe, and after you subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get notifications when I release new content in the future. And also really comment. I love having conversations. It's been fun having conversations with these last few videos I put out. I've had a good response, and so I'd like to have a better response, have more conversations. So this has been your boy Nick Fury, and I will see you guys later. Also reminder, the Star Wars Battlefront giveaway is still live, and it will end November 12th. Link right here. Link will also be in the description box. Thanks once again. See you guys later.